Hi everyone, Bernard here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. I hope you're all well. It's just a little movie review of a movie called The Rhythm Section. Strange title for a sort of action thriller, and it's sort of words like James Bond linked to this thing, which obviously gave me some hope watching it. You know that we're going to get a real good action thriller. Please, if you're new to the channel, and you don't see these movie reviews and movie specials and TV drama reviews that I do, please push the old subscribe button, that'd be fantastic. Push the bell notifications so you know these little reviews are coming out, and make sure your notifications are set to public. Yeah, so we got the Rhythm Section. It's Blake Lively and Jude Law. I mean, obviously Blake Lively leads the actual film. It's a 15 rating, 105 minutes. And Blake Lively plays the part of a Stephanie Patrick, who obviously, after losing a family in a plane crash, sort of spirals out of control and goes into prostitution and drugs, etc., etc. We don't really find out why she, obviously she was very upset, but I thought most normal people wouldn't end up in that position. But obviously, she does find out that the air crash wasn't an accident, and actually, even though her family weren't the target, obviously they're just collateral damage. So obviously she tries to seek revenge for the death of her family after being contacted by a reporter who wants to know a little bit more about the story. And it's based on the novel by Mark Burnell, who also does the screenplay for this movie version of the Rhythm Section. Is it any good? Well, it actually lost the studio. It came out just at the end of January, so obviously it sort of came out that obviously only had 3 or 4 weeks before this COVID crisis. So, but again, with films these days, they don't get much more of a run than that anyway. But it actually lost about 35 million on its initial release when you take into account all the expenses, etc. So it didn't do too well at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes have only given it a 28% positivity rating, which is pretty poor. I mean, pretty awful, to be honest with you. And that's based on quite a number of reviews. That's based on 159 reviews. But overall, it gets a 4.74 out of 10 rating. And the general consensus is summed up by the words Blake Lively delivers. So they did like Blake Lively, but the story could have used some flashier riffs. So obviously saying Blake Lively did a good job, which I'm not going to dispute that. I think she did an excellent job actually in this film. The Metascore rating, which is a critics rating, is just 4.5 out of 10. So again, not very high. That's based on 36 critics reviews. But Peter De Bruger, I do sort of like. He writes for the Wrap. Sorry, not the Wrap. He writes various reviews that I follow on the Internet Movie Database, and he actually gave it a 7 out of 10 and went on to say near incompetence in face of danger that makes her relatable in ways very few cinematic assassins have ever been. Yeah, so obviously he's given the highest score of 7 out of 10. They do range anywhere between, on Metascore, anywhere between 2 and 7 out of 10. But the Wrap, I mentioned before, I only gave it 2 out of 10 and called it an undeveloped plot with a very blank main character. I think she did it well, but as I said, we did lack a little bit of background to this girl, apart from obviously a spiral into prostitution and drugs, etc. But we didn't really see the girl before all this happened, so we couldn't really warm to her so much, because we saw the downtrodden, the drug-ridden one. So I can see the point he's making. The Guardian gave it a reasonable score of 6 out of 10, and it said it works perfectly well as a thriller. Internet Movie Database, well, overall it's getting a 5.2 out of 10, which isn't great. Again, obviously I class 6 as a watchable rating, and that's based on 7,000 reviews, so that's Joe Public, you and me, and only 47% scored it 6 or more, so nearly half, but only 47% scored it 6, rated it 6 or more, and 53% rated it 5 or less. So that's pretty much in line with the 5.2 out of 10 score, isn't it? Yeah, my little look at it. I have seen Blake Lively. She does a reasonable. She obviously does an okay English accent. I think she's playing an English girl in this. Good bits of Jude Law as well. But I can understand the criticism, and certainly the blank main character criticism and the undeveloped. I think the plot was all right. The plot was a bit it was a bit simple. I mean, it was a bit, you're thinking, you know, where's the police, where's the intelligence agencies and stuff. I mean, she's sort of working sort of for an intelligence agency, if you like, but I mean, you know, it just seems so unreal in some parts. And obviously she is pretty incompetent. She's trained a little, she'll get training now, but what I like when I write a story, which I've tried to do in my time, I like people put in extraordinary circumstances. So I don't like these people who have got no training all of a sudden to be super with a gun and super fantastic. So even though she does get, you know, she just go through a training bout, etc., and get trained into various self-defense and stuff, she's pretty useless, to be honest with you, as a hit woman. She's not very good at all. But I do like this normal people in extraordinary circumstances. So she does, you know, she does have a lot of luck. I mean, I think you need, if you're an ordinary person put in these sort of positions, I think you'll need a lot of luck to survive. And so she does get the poetic license of a lot of luck, you know, to get through these little various scenarios that she plays out. The stunts are really good. I think some of the stunts are cracking. As I said, it's quite in the same way they developed the new James Bond films into a bit more realistic fight scenes. It's a bit like that, where obviously you've got people who are perhaps not used to fighting, and it sort of has that feel to it, you know. And it certainly has a reasonable budget. I mean, it did lose, it's lost quite a few quid, didn't it? It's obviously on the box office, so it did have a reasonable budget. So it looks okay for that. It looks as though it does look well put together, which is a plus point. It does take a while to get going. It is a little bit slow. It's a good 30-40 minutes before you really sort of get dragged into the action. And once it does start, it's not too bad. It doesn't sort of meander too much. It gets on with it. As I say, within how long was it? An hour and 5 minutes, 105 minutes, an hour and 45. So knock off the credits. So you're just talking 95 minutes really. So there is enough to keep it going once it does start going. As an action thriller, there's probably not that much in it to raise it anywhere above the average, to be honest with you. It's, as I say, she is pretty useless, and you do think, oh, you know, how's she got away with that, and how's this happened, and she has a bit of luck here and a bit of luck there, and yeah, and it's because she is pretty useless, it probably just about saves it for me overall. I mean, I've not actually put a score on here. I thought I'd come up with a score while I'm talking to you. But yeah, I'm going to give it a watchable. Only just. But I mean, if you're not overly impressed, I won't be surprised. To say I'll just give it a watchable rating of 6 out of 10. You know, I certainly won't put you off watching it. But as I say, it'll be 50-50 whether you think it's worth the watch or not. It's not something to get all excited about on a Saturday evening. It's more an afternoon thing, and perhaps you can even perhaps go on your phone and check messages while you're watching it. It's one of those films you don't have to 100% concentrate on it. And as I say, it's a bit of a slow starter. I mean, there's a couple of fight scenes are worth putting your phone down for and actually watching the fight scenes. So yeah, that's the Riven section. That's my opinion. 6 out of 10. It is just about watchable, but it isn't great, but it's not bad. There are a lot worse, believe me, out there. That's out to buy as well. It's out to buy on the 8th of June. So if you did like it, you watched it, and you want to buy it, or you just think, oh, I'll buy it anyway, and then sell it. You sell it when you watched it. I mean, which a lot of people, I used to do that. I used to buy things brand new and obviously sell them, and you lose a couple of quid, but it's cheaper than renting online these days, and from the old days where it was a video shop. So it was always worth doing that. Yeah, it's $9.99 on DVD and $14.99 on Blu-ray. So that's the Rhythm section with Jude and Blake Lively, 15 rating, out on the 8th of June 2020. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you get to see it or what you think of this, and let me know what you think, what rating you'd give it. Yeah, so anywhere between, as I say, a lot of people give it between 5 and 6 out of 10. So I mean, of all the scores, I think there was about 48% of the ratings were between 5 and 6. So I mean, that's borderline of a watchable film rather than a total disaster. Anyway, thanks for watching. For the latest movie news and TV drama news, etc., please follow me on Twitter. I've got a couple of accounts. You can follow me on both or either. I'm at nostalgia_movie and at Charles Deneen. Deneen spelled D-I-N-N, and I follow everyone back. I check every couple of days and follow people back, so if you'd have to follow us. And please, I'm on Facebook at Burn Deneen, and there's links below and links on Bernardine Facebook to movieGameNostalgia.com, my little website for old and rare DVDs, movie posters from the 1990s and 2000s, and some old board games on there as well. So if you can spend a couple of minutes to have a look on movieGameNostalgia.com, which is my little, well, I've got a couple of jobs at the moment, but that's obviously my little day job that I've had for many years. So it sort of helps me put these little things, gives me a little bit of backup to do these little things for you as well. And obviously if you're into football, I do vlogs on my football team, which is Manchester City, and I look at the history and the present situation in Manchester City's goings on. So please join me on that. All the playlists are below, all the links are below, etc. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other, and hopefully you'll join me again for something else very soon. This is Bernard saying goodbye for now. Thank you.